This episode of Saving the Ocean is about how to react in an oil spill if you find oiled seabirds. Today we are in Killarney National Park and we're on a workshop how to save seabirds that got spilled in an oil spill. You wouldn't say they get spilled, right?
We're on an oiled birds course where it's all about how to mitigate oil spills and the damage that they cause on the coastlines.
And I'm here with Pauline, who is teaching us. So Pauline, if I find oiled birds after an oil spill, obviously I just want to go down to the beach and want to help them. I get them out of the oil, try to wash the oil off.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
What to do when you find an oiled bird? You definitely don't take them home for a start, and you don't wash them. I know it's counterintuitive. The one thing you really do want to do is wash the oil off the birds. But just think about it. They've been at sea. They've lost their waterproofing. They haven't been able to hunt for fish, so they're dehydrated and they're starving. They've probably lost a lot of their body condition trying to keep warm. They have a much higher body temperature than humans. Their body temperature is anything between 39 and 42 degrees Celsius. So they're pretty cold, and of course they're very frightened and very stressed. If you bring those birds home and try to wash them, the chances are they'll literally die in your hands, even if you get them that far. The other thing is also you're exposing yourself to a very toxic substance, which is oil, in its many forms, be it bunker oil, fuel oil, diesel. All of these products are very carcinogenic, so you need to be well protected. So if there is an oil spill and wildlife have been affected, it's really important that you contact the authorities, contact the local wildlife rescue centres and find out exactly what the plan is. Without working to a plan, you're only extending the misery of those birds. They really need to be cared for very, very carefully. They need to be stabilised for a few days before they can ever be washed, to try and get their body condition back up to a reasonable level so that they can endure the hardship and the stress of the wash. And then after the wash then, it's a very skilled job to try and get the birds back into their waterproof condition so that they can go back into the wild. So it's really important that you're part of a much more cohesive and much more planned response. Otherwise the authorities will just stop people going onto the beach and lifting those birds in the first place. And the last thing we want is for those birds to be neglected and ignored. So it's really important that it's worked on in a very cohesive manner.
The course with Pauline really teach me a lot of things, but one thing really stick to my mind. It's such a big effort to save those birds, and it comes with huge costs and huge amount of work. So the good thing about it, it really gives a price tag to what happens if we destroy nature with oil or something like that. But to be honest, I came to a little point where I thought, oh wow, is that really worth the effort? But weeks later, I had the opportunity to join a recovered seabird release. Those birds weren't oiled. They got distracted by lights during their first flight and they couldn't make it to the ocean. So people picked them up and helped them to recover. And then a few days later, we could release them into the air and give them their first real flight. In that moment I realized it's worth every effort to save those birds, especially if we caused the problem. If you liked the video, pass on the inspiration by sharing it with your friends.